With Season 2 of Black Ops Cold War, Treyarch has once again given us zombie players a lot to grind for. If you recall back to when Black Ops Cold War first came out, you will recall that we had to earn crystals in-game to unlock our upgrades for perks, field upgrades, and what we'll be talking about today, ammo mods. Going back to the start of the game, you remember that we had our tier system and we had 3 tiers for pretty much each item. We'd have to unlock our crystals to eventually unlock them, and they would cost more as you progress through them. Treyarch has once again given us zombie players something to grind for by giving us more tiers on literally everything in the game, as well as adding 2 new weapon classes, a new field upgrade being Frenzied Guard, and then we have our new ammo type as well, which is Shattered Blast. But today, we're going to be talking about the fan favorite from all the way back in Black Ops 3, the golden days of Call of Duty Zombies. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about Deadwire, and oh my god, all I have to say is, we all know what Tier 5 does. It's OP, but we're going to talk about it anyway today, and we're going to discuss if we think it should be balanced, do we think it's too overpowered, all that good stuff. Before we get into that though, if you are new around here, please remember to subscribe for more zombies content. Also leave a like if you like the video so far. I greatly appreciate it, but let's get back to the video. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to go over Deadwire and talk about all the tiers the ammo mod has, and let's just talk about as well what we think of each individual one. As we can see, we have all of our tiers here, so let's just go through them. Let's talk about the base description of Deadwire first. Bullets deal electrical damage. Each bullet has a chance to stun normal enemies for 2 seconds, and that has a 15-second cooldown. So the base version of Deadwire is pretty plain. Let's see what Tier 1 has to offer. Tier 1, stunned enemies generate an electrical field dealing electrical damage to self and nearby enemies. That one is quite a big improvement to the last one, which is just shocking the enemies, obviously, so it's doing a lot better so far. Moving on to Tier 2, increase stun duration to 4 seconds. This one's really useful for when you're going to be in them camping situations and you just want to get out of there. You don't want to kill anything, you just kind of want to get out of a situation really fast. It stuns the zombies around you, you might have a simmer of hope of getting out of that tricky situation. Now moving on to Tier 3, double the electrical field damage. So that means it's going to do a lot more damage. It's going to kill zombies a lot easier than it would do before. Moving on to Tier 4, special enemies can be stunned, and I think you've all noticed a trend for a lot of these upgrades for the ammo mods, and it's really just that they can affect special enemies. Now this doesn't mean elites, so I was kind of researching this myself for the brain rot video, and it turns out the special enemies are more the mimics and manglers. Elite zombies like megatons aren't really it for some reason, I don't know why. But that's just the way it is, so it's kind of sad. If you're playing on D Machine, you're not going to really notice the difference with this one. Less with dogs, but then yeah, it's cool. It's still good. But moving on to Tier 5, and this is where things get very interesting. On stun, sparks of electricity, jump and spread and stun to 5 nearby enemies, and that has a 30-second cooldown. Now looking at the gameplay behind you, you can just see how overpowered it is. Look how much it's killing. Overall, this has to be, and I mean has to be, the best ammo type. There is absolutely no doubt about it. I think my second favorite would have to be Brain Rot, but I'm nowhere close does it come to dealing the amount of damage and absolute destruction that Deadwire Tier 5 can do. But this brings up a potential problem, and the reason I'm kind of making this video later than a lot of the other ones is for one simple reason. Are they going to nerf this? Are they going to nerf it because they're like, okay, this one's so good that it's making the rest of them look kind of, doo-doo, they don't look that great, they're kind of doing bad, let's kick it down a notch. I really don't think that has to be the case. I really like Deadwire the way it is, and I think it's in a good spot. I think the ammo mods should have some power and some oomph to them, because without the ammo mods, there's never really a reason for someone to use it compared to a wonder weapon. For example, the DIE, where it gets infinite ammo by sucking in, or the ray gun, or the ray K, people are just going to run these weapons over this. Now, it could be argued more in Firebase Z, where there's only one wonder weapon. People could use these other ammo types and ammo mods to use in their weapon to add a bit more oomph to their high round games. But on something like D Machine, which a lot of people still play, and myself and personally, I'm enjoying it a lot right now. It's just so casual and it's easy to get all of your unlocks from. because it's really fast to get the high rounds on that map and earn crystals. But getting back to the main topic, I think what Treyarch need to do is they need to sit down, have their coffee, you know, drive their Lamborghinis that they get from their microtransactions. And I think what they need to really do is just talk about whether they want to nerf Deadwire, make everyone kind of annoyed a wee bit. Not gonna lie, I don't think people would like that too much. Or what they could do is they could bring everything else that is kind of bad, except brain rot, because brain rot's kind of fine, to the level of Deadwire, because it makes more sense to make bad things good than a really good thing bad. And this is the difference between people only using wonder weapons on a map like the Machine. Again, Firebase Z you can't really have this whole philosophy on because it only has the one wonder weapon. But in future maps, I'm guessing they'll add more than one wonder weapon for people to use. But I believe by them doing this and making the rest of them really good, it gives normal weapons a reason to be used. This was a big problem back in Black Ops 4 because a lot of the weapons were good except the Helion Salvo, and they didn't bring everything up to match that. So everyone just rocked the Helion Salvo, or they rocked wonder weapons. With Black Ops 3, it was a pretty good balance. People had wonder weapons, and they had their ammo types, because all the ammo types were pretty much good in that game. You had Firework, you had Brain Rot, you had Deadwire, and then who could forget Blast Furnace. I just think they can't go down this route of this nerfing stuff, because people aren't going to like that. Just go crazy with it, you know? Like, bring all these things up to meet Deadwire, and then just leave it there. If there's no other change that needs to happen, that's perfect. Just make them slightly better. An example I can think of this is I have uploaded my Napalm Burst video, I think yesterday, when this video will be coming out. That thing doesn't really kill. Make it so that it insta-kills the zombies that it attacks, and then it spreads to other zombies as well. That'd be the perfect way to balance this. This is how it was in Black Ops 3. And I can't really remember Black Ops 4, but I think it worked kind of similar to this. I know the ammo types work kind of differently compared to the past games. But I think if they were to do this with Napalm Burst, it could bring it up to the Deadwire tier of how good it is. The same with Shatter Blast. Shatter Blast, in theory, is okay, but they just need to bring it that extra power, because it could kill almost instantly. It'd be really fun to use. I've said this in past videos, Treyarch are kind of funny with balancing stuff. I think this is both on Treyarch and the community. I think Treyarch, when they release a product, they won't have a certain balancing method, but then they'll have one thing that's so good that they won't touch. Like Gobblegums, for example, or like in Black Ops 4, where they tried to balance perks by making it so you could only buy 4 perks, and Juggernaut, Quick Revive, Speed Cola, and all them weren't really there. I know Quick Revive was technically there, but not in the way we've seen it before. And they would have that and make it so we spawned them with specialist weapons so we could get to around 100 of them. Again, I don't think that's the biggest problem in the world. I think they just need to make it so the game is fun and everything kind of has a purpose. So again, I had to reiterate, Treyarch, bring these things up just a wee bit, because, to be honest, the game's kind of really easy right now as it is. You might as well go all the way, and the way I see it as well is, if the game's super easy, the value of the higher rounds will just become less and less, and the higher rounds become more. I didn't really understand this whole, like, oh, it's so easy to get the high rounds. Each map, high rounds kind of fluctuate, right? Like Ascension on Black Ops 3, around 100 isn't that impressive, but let's say an Origins on Black Ops 2, around 100 is somewhat impressive. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on everything. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you like, subscribe if you're new around here, like I said earlier on in the video. I really appreciate all the new guys coming in from these videos. And yeah, you're all legends. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see yous in the next one. Goodbye.